We humans love habits, and we hate change. 73% of people said in an online study that they love habits and rituals, and that ranges from small daily tasks like shaving to life aspects, such as where you live. Did you know that a huge amount of people loves to go to the same restaurant and eat the same food every time they go out for dinner? And when people participate in my seminars, they usually choose the same seat on the second day that they've chosen on the first. And I work in organizational change and often experience that people really hate to change work tasks and processes. And when under stress or fear, we humans tend to freeze and stay where we are, right? Even if running away would be the better choice. We also stay where we are geographically. 2/3 of all Europeans, and you would not believe it, live within 25 kilometers of their parents. 80% within 100. And 90% of all students never engage in studying abroad during their studies. Unbelievable. And the older we get, like me, the more we rely on habits. I always did it this way. An old dog doesn't learn new tricks. Why is that so? I was wondering. And I found out there are biological reasons for it. The brain constitutes only 2% of our body mass, but consumes 20% of the energy. So thinking is expensive for the body. And change needs thinking. Habits do not. Consequently, the body opts for habits to make decisions as the more efficient way. Another reason is our habits are stored in the basal ganglia. Do you know where that is? It's in ourselves. It's in the stem of our brain. And it's not easily accessible by will. But other reasons are purely psychological. Habits save us time. When we go on autopilot, when shaving, doing makeup, or having breakfast, it makes us quicker and therefore more effective. Habits also seem to keep us safe. In the film Poseidon from 2006, a cruise ship capsizes, and people have to decide to stay where they are, hoping for rescue, or to take the risk of climbing up to the bottom of the ship, finding a way out. And most people decide to stay where they are because it seems to be the smaller risk. And we all know it, right? Habits keep us in our comfort zones. The people who said they love habits and rituals said they do so because it gives them a feeling of stability in their social relationships. Always the same restaurant and food means taking no risk. The chair is our comfort zone in the seminar or for you here. Let's see who chooses the same seat in the second round. And staying close to your parents, friends, or at your home university, that keeps you in your social comfort zone. Great. And we are very comfortable to perform the same task over and over and over again because we know what we do, right? The better the devil you know than the devil you don't. So, I mean, if habits are so great, should we not simply stick with them? And I say absolutely categorically no, because the magic of change happens outside our comfort zone. One thing, gray matter is considered to be crucial for the health of our brain. And newest medical research from 2018 by Staudinger at Columbia showed that the amount of gray matter is strongly correlated to how often the patients changed work tasks over 16 years. I had to simplify that for myself. It means the more you change work tasks, the more gray matter, and that means the healthier your brain. Another study showed that learning a new language postpones statistically the onset of dementia by 4 to 6 years, or makes it even less likely for you to catch it in the first place. For me, a relevant aspect to learn Czech. Change also can be crucial for survival. For the people on the Poseidon, those who decided to move increased their chance of survival from 0, all who stayed down there died, to about 50%. Unfortunately, not everybody who moved made it. And change can give you a lot of new experiences. I mean, always the same restaurant and food. Yes, granted, that's safe. But it's utterly boring. You can only find better food when you leave the good food behind, at least sometimes. And moving away from home, or maybe even abroad, that will not make your old friends go away, but you will find a lot of new friends. Many of you here, as I've seen, know what I'm talking about because you either came from abroad or you had your own experience abroad. It gets even better. Change helps you grow your personality. In this Erasmus study, we could show that people, students who go abroad, become significantly more open and tolerant. Even better, it can boost your career. Students who went abroad later in life had better salaries and more responsible jobs than those who didn't. And change breeds change. Students who went abroad later in life more often changed their jobs, more often went abroad to work, and had 3 times more often a life partner with a different nationality than those who stayed home. I know what they're talking about. It's the same case for me. And change has an addictive quality, like smartphones, right? Because the more we engage in successful change, the more we like to go for a new change. So that is, in a way, the magic of change, because first you accept risk and failure as a normal side effect. Then you grow as a person, and you are the boss of your change, not somebody else. And the more you do it, the better it gets. So the question is now, if that's so great, how can we achieve it? And there are some things to it. First of all, we need time. A study by Lely showed that in order to change a habit, you need on average 66 days. Most of us give up after 2. You remember your New Year retributions? You know, like, I promise to change this, no smoking, etc. Takes time. The reason for that is that we deal with change exactly the same way we deal with grief. First of all, we totally deny the need for change. Next, we get angry, asking, why should I change? Then we start to bargain. Is it really that much? Can we change a little bit less? Then we get depressed, thinking, it doesn't work. You know, I will never make it. And only finally, we end up accepting the need for change. Besides change, we need pressure. And the bigger the change we deal with, the bigger the pressure we need. Me, myself, you wouldn't guess, but I love change. You know? I like to challenge myself, learning new languages, acquiring new skills, changing jobs. But when it really mattered, I also needed a lot of pressure. Because I was a workaholic for a long time in my life, and everything and everybody around me suffered. My body had sent warning signs over months. I lost weight, I was nervous, I couldn't sleep. But my mind chose to totally ignore it because it always worked. So my body had at one day nearly to close up permanently to make my mind take notice. And only then I was able to engage in change, and I did it. And today, at least I think I'm a happy and healthy man. But what I learned is that however open to change we might be, the really big changes, they do not come easy to any of us. So I was thinking, How can I make that easier? And I give you a glimpse of my recipe book of change. First of all, you need to train your brain like your dog. That's my hunting dog, Brady. Yeah, he's a cutie, huh? I totally love him, and more importantly, he loves me. But when I train him, I know that he does not understand the words, but he has a fine sense of what they mean, like my mind. He is very amenable to treats, like my mind. And he needs repetition and consequence, like my mind. 2, start small. When you go home tonight, please try out a new recipe for dinner, something you never did, and take the risk of not liking it. 3, be reasonable. The change you choose should be in relation to the experiences you already have. If you never went away from home, start maybe with a summer course or a short stay abroad. Probably do not right away emigrate to Japan, Australia, or Antarctica, like we see it in these TV shows. Accept risks. When you decide to go and work abroad, like I did, be prepared to lose your safe ground. You will have to overcome yourself to survive in a new environment. But that is totally worth it. Be patient, persistent, and consequent, like with your mind. Because when you have to change, for example, work tasks, do not expect that you will excel from one day to the other. You might need months for that, and that is absolutely okay. 6, if you have to deal with a really big change, make it easy, break it down in small changes. Do it like Beppo, the road sweeper from the book Momo, said. When I have to clean a street, do not look at the whole street all the time, because you think you will never make it, even if you speak it up like crazy. Instead, look in front of your feet only. Take the next sweep, because then you enjoy it, because you see the result right in front of you. Always, always, always give your mind a treat for a successful change, like with a dog. When you overcame yourself now and you decided, I study abroad, tell that to everybody. Put it on the social media. Tell it your friends. Let everybody know, yes, I can. That's important because that helps your mind to be open for the next change. And finally, just do it again. You already went out, went somewhere, studied abroad, something. Don't stop. Take up the next challenge. Make it more difficult for you. Maybe start learning statistics, dancing. Let change follow on change. So my plea is, please, please, do not stagnate by sticking to your old habits, but rather elevate yourself by making change your new habit.